Hi everybody, I'm Trish Christ. NECAT and our super crew of teenagers are here today with the Nashville Public Library Foundation. President Sean Bacher and her team are going to show us around and tell us all the cool things they do in our community.
Welcome, come follow us.
It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.
It's our Nashville.
We all know how to talk about our organization during meetings, but what about the chance encounter of a lifetime? You never know who may share your next elevator, notice your logo on a notebook or a tote bag, and ask what you do. What's the clearest, most persuasive thing you can say in a short elevator ride?
The Nashville Public Library Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports the work of the Nashville Public Library. The Nashville Public Library receives 4 million visitors per year at its 21 branches. We focus on getting kids excited about reading and also getting them ready for school. We also engage teens in allowing them to explore their talents and gain self-confidence. And as well, we support new Americans and senior citizens as they are learning to connect with the digital world.
Joyce, Cersei, I'm so glad to have you here to talk about the library.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here.
And I know you're a board member, you're a very busy board member. How long have you served on the Nashville Public Library Foundation board?
Well, I think it has been, I want to say 3 years or so, 3-4 years. The time has just flown by.
Tell me a little bit about the library itself, Metro, and the relationship with the Nashville Public Library Foundation, the nonprofit part.
Yes, okay, well, of course, you know, the Metro Nashville Library, the library itself is run through Metro, and it gets funds through Metro. But what people found, I think, as the Library Foundation was founded, the purpose was to help us have really an excellent library.
When you and I were kids, the library model was pretty straightforward. You went there to check out a book, right?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. When I was a kid, I'm from Mississippi, and I didn't go to our library. And the reason why was because it was segregated. That's one of the reasons why when Mayor Dean asked me to be on the library board, I consented, because it would not have been a safe place for me as a child.
That's insane.
We were, you could get the library, we would have had to have gone to the back. And for my parents, they didn't want to do that. That would have been a humiliating experience for us. I want all libraries to be safe places for children, where children grow, where the self-esteem, I mean, when you read a book, you go anywhere. And back then, I wouldn't have been able to do that. At least, you know, you can't even get in the front door. How can I go anywhere? And so you remove those obstacles for children, and they learn and they grow and they get prepared to go anywhere to do anything. Yeah.
I'm astounded that that was your experience as a child.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. I'm from small town Tennessee, and my library experience as a kid was Saturday morning, go to the library, get the maximum number of Nancy Drew books they would let me take out of there, which was 3, and I would gobble them up by Monday. But today, I'm learning just how great and wide the scope of library services are, and it's not just check out a book and go home and read it anymore. Can you tell us a bit about the many services that the foundation funds at the library?
I mean, I think we have, like, I used to call it, when I was running a nonprofit, womb to tomb kind of experiences.
Nice.
You know,
yes.
Moms can bring babies there, and basically they're puppet shows to keep you getting kids ready for learning. All those neurons that are being connected in children's brains, the Library Foundation's funds are going to help facilitate the connection of those synapses in the brain. And the library is intentional about that, because they are working with preschool teachers and parents. There are the books, but it's like there's their curricula developed so that the kids are getting what they need at each age level so that they can go to the next level, and the parents and the teachers in those preschool areas are knowing what to do with those books with the children. And then the puppet shows, you know, the puppets come out, and some of the puppets that have been done in Nashville, they have been created especially for our kids. Like, for example, the puppets that were done, that were made for to teach people about Music City and country music, and I mean, they are just phenomenal. But
Those are the String City.
those are the String City puppets. Yeah. I mean, just some phenomenal. So I think about the tourists get to see it and experience it, but basically it's made for here.
Wishing Chair Productions. I mean, how many libraries
now,
have
I
their
was
own
able to
company?
take my children to the Nashville Library because I came here to go to Fisk University and then married. And when we had children, I could take them to the library, to those puppet shows. And when my daughter comes from New York, and we still go to those, you know, Wishing Chair Productions, she just loves it. She just doesn't believe it's still there. She said, Mom, this is one of the best things. You know, she puts it on par to the New York libraries, and I've taken my granddaughter to the New York Library. Nashville is still the best.
There you go. There you go.
My name is Lindsay Patrick. I am the Children's Services Manager of the Nashville Public Library. Children's Services encompasses almost pre-birth all the way up through age 12 or 13. The library likes to say that books are only half the story. So of course, Children's Services covers books, but it also covers programming, it covers reference services, our digital resources. So at the Nashville Public Library, we really want to impress upon families and children how much fun reading can be. And we do that by offering a variety of different programming, starting with preschool story time, where we're teaching parents and children all of the wonderful early literacy skills that they need to be ready for kindergarten when they start school. We also have award-winning puppet shows through our Wishing Chair puppet troupe. We have craft programs, we have after-school programs, we have lots of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math programs. So we cover a lot of different areas in our library programming for children. So what's important to know is that it takes up to 1,000 hours of lap time for a child to develop early literacy skills. And those skills are the skills that a child needs to learn how to read. So not only are they learning in the laps of their parents and in older children that reading is fun and that reading is full of love, but they're also developing these skills that will help them when they enter kindergarten, and they'll help teachers be able to then teach them how to read. We have a program called Bringing Books to Life that has professionally educated staff that go into daycares and schools and teach parents and caregivers and educators how to develop these early literacy skills in children, getting them ready to enter kindergarten. So this love of reading is what the library is offering the community of Nashville.
How many branches roughly are there of the library system for Metro?
We have 21, so you can go almost anywhere. You know, there's no excuse for you. Everything is built for convenience. So we have 21 sites across the county.
Your neighborhood has a library, essentially.
Everyone's
neighborhood.
Everyone's neighborhood
That's
has
great.
a library.
And I know that there are now activities for teens. There's a teen center downtown.
Yes, we're very proud of it. The teen centers is where kids can go to get the latest in technology. So it's not only help with reading, they're getting all kinds of experience, music studios. In fact, it's called Studio NPL.
Cool.
And they come and get all of those kind of experiences. They're mentored. They get to work with some of the best around.
That teen center is packed every time I go there.
It is packed. It is packed.
Kids from different high schools mingling, making friends, learning stuff together. I'm almost jealous. I wish I had.
and not just on a cell phone.
That's right.
Because you know, a lot of kids now, they don't have those communication skills. They don't know how to build those relationships, human relationships. So we're helping to do that too at the library.
My name is Nick Tonioni, and I am the studio coordinator for Nashville Public Library. Studio MPL is an expansion of our team program, and we really focus on digital skills, technical skills, and career building, and career and college skill building. So we offer robotics, recording studios, 3D printers, video production, graphic design, photography, a lot of these sort of artistic elements that teens are really interested in. We try to take that interest and try to connect it with real-world skills, real technology, up-to-date technology, and connect them with mentors who can help sort of introduce them to the next kind of step in their interests. Our mentors are cool. They are part-time, and they all are working professionals, working artists, they're scientists, they're musicians, they are graphic designers, and they are paid to come into our space and work with our young people to teach them the skills that they are using in their careers. So these young people are actually getting experience working with a professional in a career that they might be interested in. And then the mentor helps connect them to, this is what you need to do for college, or this is how you need to build your resume around this, or here's how you can build a portfolio around this particular thing, and really make that connection between the equipment, the skills, and building the relationship with the young person. The foundation is in a lot of ways the lifeblood of the studio. The city came together and said we want this to happen and help come up with some funding and some positions for that to happen. The Nashville Public Library Foundation then came in with a ton of money and a ton of support and a ton of interested people in the community to help bring us mentors, to help put 3D printers in all of our spaces, to bring instruments in all of our spaces, to put MacBooks in all of our spaces. So they're really the ones that are funding the day-to-day. They're the ones that I can go to with an idea and they say, great, let's try it, here's some funding, what else do you need? This is our sort of our flagship, our big glorious space with the recording studios and everything else, but we do Studio MPL operations in 8 different spaces. Edmondson Pike is the newest one, Southeast, East Madison, Bellevue, kind of all corners of the city have a Studio MPL location. What's really cool is we also go out to schools, community centers, apartment complexes, community fairs. So about 5 days a week we take some of our equipment, a couple computers, and a mentor, and we'll go out and meet people where they're at. So they can't come to the library, we'll come to you. So what's really cool about this space is it's based on this national research model of HAMAGO, which is hang out, mess around, and geek out. So it was a study done to see how teens engage with their academics, how they engage with each other, and kind of finding ways to bring that together. And that's where that model HAMAGO came from. So the whole space and the curriculum is designed to be really low barrier. A kid can just come and sit down and hang out, talk to a mentor, doesn't really have to do anything. They can mess around, which is they just are sort of playing with the equipment, maybe experimenting a little bit, or they can really geek out, that is, like really get into the workshop and then sort of take that project and go with it. So HAMAGO is sort of our motto here.
I think I have seen a big room of computers that might be for job searches, or
yes.
Tell me about what we offer to adults.
Okay, so the libraries all over, you can go in and you can learn how to use computers, but then if you already know how, you can use computers to catch up. You can use computers to do job searches. And for our new Americans who come to Nashville, who's such a vibrant part of our city, they can come to the library and get services they need to be integrated into the city, to get jobs. We have people speaking other languages. And so all of that is happening at the library.
Fantastic.
I'm Megan Godby, and I'm the Adult Literacy Coordinator for Nashville Public Library. We help adults learn to make their lives better through learning digital skills, finding new jobs, learning English, and also finishing their high school diploma. We work with over 25 community partners in order to offer classes in libraries and also promote their services across the community. 1 in 3 adults in Nashville need some type of educational support. That means that some adults need to learn to read for the first time, some of them need to finish their high school diploma, and others want to work on their English skills. Last year alone, we helped over 7,000 adults in over 800 workshops. If you're an adult who maybe doesn't have an educational goal but a wellness goal, you can take advantage of our Be Well programs. You can take an aerobics class, learn yoga, or learn about nutrition. If you're into gardening, get some seeds from our seed exchange. We also serve seniors who want to sharpen their digital skills by teaching them how to use the computer, learn how to use their iPad, and how to download ebooks. Our Pathway for New Americans project allows new Americans in the city to apply for citizenship through informational stations at the library. We have trained teachers to help them for every step along the way, and they can get books to help them with their interview. At Nashville Public Library, we believe this space is for everyone. I like to say that it is the community living room. You can come hang out, read a book, watch a movie, pick up a magazine, or use our computer.
One of my favorite newer parts of the downtown public library is the Civil Rights Wing.
Oh my goodness.
Packed full of information and books and memorabilia, and it's a really artful design. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that.
If our audience, if they haven't had a chance to experience that, you can actually go to the library and feel what the young people at that time who were involved in the sit-ins, you can sit there and be a part of that experience, to feel like you at the sit-ins. You get to see the rules, to say, you know, the training that in which they were engaged, to the nonviolent training, to say if somebody's spitting on you, if somebody's hitting you, you don't retaliate, this is what you do. All of those rules are there. And so you get a chance to feel, to be a part of that experience, to figure out what those young people who will basically lay the foundation for a lot of the rights that we have for open accommodations, what that was like. And that happened in Nashville, and so that's recorded there. But you know, it's not only that, the library uses all of that space to help do training for Metro Police. And
Tell me about that.
Nonviolent training, and it's not just Metro Police. I mean, we have had people come from Memphis Police to be a part of the experience, because, you know, it's almost like, I remember Judge Birch used to always say, Abe Birch used to always say, if you can't see it, you can't be it. So Metro Police get to feel and be that. So they get to see that, they get to be that, so that they understand then as they go out what responsibility they have for not making that happen, you know, again.
Very relevant to today.
To understand what that's like, and that training is happening at the library. Isn't that amazing?
That is
That's
amazing.
happening at the library. We've gotten awards for that, for being part of working with police academies.
My name is Andrea Blackman, and I manage our Special Collections Division, which is a big part of the Civil Rights Room collection and narrative in the space where we are here at the main library. The significance of this physical space that we're sitting in is that this space allows Nashville's residents or tourists to come in and take a walk back in history, to look at Nashville through the lens of 1957 or 1960. So this space sits on the very spot where the sit-ins took place over 50 plus years ago. So in this collection, we have hundreds of oral histories and first-person narratives of people who marched with John Lewis and Dr. King, and people who desegregated and dismantled our public institutions in our city. This morning we had 108 seventh graders, and today is actually the 60th anniversary of the Brown v. Board decision. So we had a conversation today looking at a bridge between 1954 and 2017, and so Brown v. Board is so foreign to these seventh graders, but fairness and justice and equality, those things are constant and part of our everyday lives. So what we did this morning was make 2017 relevant and 1957 relevant by creating a bridge and talking about inequities in their schools. Many times we're asked why. Why was our country so harsh and unfair? You see inquisitiveness, you see curiosity, but you also see some pity. Many of the kids look at the images of the adults who tried to stop integration, and they question and ask why. What was all of this about? Why is there so much hate? Why did one group of people hate another class or another group of people so much in 1950s or 1960s? We're seated at a replica of a lunch counter. So in the 60s, most people would sit at a lunch counter, go to Woolworths, Walgreens, actually on this very spot where the library sits now, TikTok, Candyland, local stores here in Nashville. And this replica give students an opportunity to sit at a lunch counter, actually read the rules, these 10 rules that activists had to be able to follow. And engraved on each of these panels is one of the 10 rules that John Lewis and Bernard Lafayette, all of them had to follow, or anyone, if you were going to participate in this movement. So the students are able to sit here, take in, and sort of ask themselves if I would be able to sit at a lunch counter if I was alive and a student in 1960.
If someone's watching us on TV right now chatting about the library system and the foundation that adds all of the services that you guys add to the process, and they think, you know, I've lived here my whole life, I've never gone to the library, what would you what would you say to them?
I'll say you missing it. You miss it. First of all, it's free. Go get your library card, because that's going to give you a lot of perks. You know, a lot of things happen at the library. I mean, we have speakers coming in, we have musicians coming in, and the other thing that you may not know is that the Library Foundation is helping with what we call limitless libraries. So there's no limit to what can happen. So if you have kids or grandkids in the metro school system, their ID card is synonymous with the library card.
Their school ID is
Their
the library
school
card.
ID is the library card.
Come on, that's
and
fantastic.
So they can get books through the library. You don't have to, you need to know as a parent or grandparent that you don't have to take that child who's enrolled in metro school to a branch necessarily. Now we want you there at that branch, but it's not necessary because we want everything to be convenient. That child can decide if I'm doing a research paper, if I want my family to have a book, I can go into my school library, figure out what I want, and because of the Library Foundation, that book will be to your child or your grandchild within the next 2 days.
It gets sent to their school and then they take it home
It will sent to their school and they take it home. We even have kids sort of being the librarian for the family. You know,
I like that.
Figuring out what book does my little brother, sister want? What does mama, you know, want to read? And all of that can happen.
And it's not just hardback books anymore. You can do
Oh, gosh.
audio books. I mean, what else is
Oh gosh,
available?
you can do audio books. I do this. You can download magazines. You can download music.
You're talking the electronic version now,
You
like
talking
to your
the
iPad
electronic
or
version.
Huh.
You get magazines. So before I go on a trip, I make sure that I download, you know, all of the latest magazines. You know, they can be fashion magazines. They can be news magazines. And I make sure that I download the book that I want to, so that when they tell you, when you get on the plane and you shut down all your electronic stuff, because that's downloaded onto your phone that you've gotten from the library, you can still, and you don't have to carry the big book with you. You know, if you don't want to carry those heavy books, all of that you get through the library. And then when your time is up, you know, your lending time is up, it just like, it disappears from your phone.
I didn't realize that service was there.
Yes, yes.
The same, I think, is true, am I crazy, for movies and music and...
Yes, you can do all of that. You can rent movies, you can rent music, all of that through the library.
That's fantastic. My friend, I have one last segment with you. It's called the speed round. And it's just like that game we used to play when we were kids, where I ask you a question and literally the first answer that pops into your mind, let it fly, and we'll jump on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay? Speed round with Joyce Searcy. What's your first favorite book?
Oh, Cinderella. That's what I remember.
Good. Have you ever understood the Dewey Decimal System?
No. I always had to go to the front desk and say, can you help me do this? I was in college. Help me do this.
I just knew where the Nancy Drew books were, in what corner, and I would just go over there and see what was nearby. Yeah, I didn't.
Even in college, I just, you know, my first experience with that was in college because I didn't go to the library. And so I would go over, can you help me find? Yeah.
Of the 5 senses, which do you enjoy using the most at the library?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say sight, because with the 3D printing, I had such a fun experience doing that. And in the children's section of the library, there are all of the iconic buildings from Nashville. And so not only do you get to see it, but I've got to watch my granddaughter crawl through, you know, the buildings, be up on the bridge. So I would say
The tiny Ryman, yes, awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. What does the cool 20-foot stone sculpture outside the downtown library depict?
Oh, now see, you got me there.
You can probably guess.
Because I don't even go through I go through the back.
It's so crowded downtown these days anyway.
Yeah, I go through the parking garage.
Well, when you go next time, look out front. It's my favorite thing. It's a stack of 26.
Oh, yes, yes, the stack of books.
Yeah. I will confess that I didn't know until I was making these questions for you that there are 26 books in that sculpture. One for each of the letters of the alphabet.
Ah, okay.
Tidbit.
Wow, okay.
The sculpted bust in the grand stairwell of the downtown library honors which of the following individuals? Dolly Parton, Phil Bredesen, or Eddie George?
Phil Bredesen.
And why is that?
Because Phil Bredesen was very passionate about the library, and he helped to make that library happen. He was determined that we were going to have he would have said the city, I think he started this, a city is only as great as its library.
That's right.
He was determined to make that happen.
That's right.
Yes.
And last of all, what's your website?
npll.org.
Thank you, Joyce.
All right.
I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you.
It's